Hello from Chez Moi. It is Sunday, August 20th, the day before the eclipse, from Chez Moi. And we're going to talk about successes and failures. These are the last few days of the heat. I expect the heat to break a little after Labor Day, and then we'll be in second summer. So I've been harvesting some seed heads. There's a little yellow finch that just loves my house. He comes over and eats these echinacea seeds, but I've harvested those. A couple of spare sweet williams I can find in there, some yarrow. I haven't really been good about keeping up with nasturtium seeds, so it'll be interesting to see where they regrow next year. I got some of that yellow, nope, that's not the yellow daisy, there's the yellow daisy, the yellow English daisy. We may eventually get a couple of seed heads on that sunflower, but that was a great place for a sunflower, so I have to remember to do that again. All this rain and sun was just beautiful for my nasturtiums. They look exactly like the French country garden lane that I wanted them to look like. They're just branching into the driveway. That's perfect, because next year is the year of the neighbor. So what I did over here, and I feel really bad because when I was weed whacking over here, I ripped up this poor praying mantis, and he was beautiful. He was like half a foot long. Anyway, I weeded through here, took out all the weeds. I left a little chickweed because, well, chicks love it. And I left the mint, and I left the butterfly weed. But I tried to get every other weed out of here, pulled it, because I'm going to take some of those harvested seeds, the columbine and everything. I'm going to try to plant some wildflowers here between us and the neighbors. This is a different proposition because this is where the kids run through. So I'm just basically going to try to keep it down and think about, I don't know, maybe I'll actually put grass here. I'm thinking more clover, but I got to get rid of the ivy first. So that is my winter project. We talked earlier about how I wasn't really thrilled about these tomato plants, but look at my marigolds, aren't they great? But they did yield a lot of the suckers, and we'll go down and show the other plant that was from the first batch of suckers that's already got little baby fruits on it. So the technique is viable in that take some suckers and root them for the second wave crop, but we're going to definitely try some different seeds next year. This is the last legs of my cocozelle. There was just the look at this, all the frass. Let's see if I can get a better sunnier view of it. There we go. But see, I just got too many squash vine borers. I couldn't keep up. It's one of the reasons we've only had a couple of, see there, just all down the stem. I just couldn't keep up. So we're going to today probably, or very soon, take this out and start carrots in this pot. So here we know. I definitely need to keep all my squash in the ground just so they have a hope of rerooting, because squash vine borer and I are not friendly. Like this guy. Oh, look, tomatoes. Tomatoes are just springing up everywhere. But this guy, squash vine borer, got to, but it's sent out some more roots. It's been pretty productive. These melons just don't work. I don't know if it's the variety or the way I planted it, but that's also going to come up, and I'm not sure if we're going to do beets or what. We're going to put a fall crop there, which also next to this habanero. I don't know what happened to this particular habanero. I think this might have been one I saved from last year, but it's just drying up. So I'm going to take the ripish ones, and I'll have 3 square feet or so, maybe 6 square feet to play with for fall crops. Let's come back up here. This one is also, recovering. I'm not sure if I'm going to get any more, maybe some baby squash off of it. But, again, squash vine borer, just the bane of my existence. It's cucumber season, hurrah! My cucumbers are doing pretty well despite appearances. It's been too hot to really spray them for fungal disease, but mostly what I'm getting is these Mexican bean beetles and squash bugs. Oh, there's a cucumber. There's an example of the cucumbers will come around. But the pest pressure on these hasn't been too high. It's been enough that I can just see. Oh wait, there's ladybugs. So you have to be really careful not to get the ladybugs. I feel like there's probably a lot of aphids on them because there's always ants on them. But we'll just let the ladybugs and the ants deal with that, so, because they're bearing. And there's another ladybug. See the other ladybug? There we go. The ants. But, see. And those are very sweet, very tasty cucumbers. I'm quite happy with all the varieties I have. I'll have to look at my charts because each trellis has a different varietal. And I think of the three, this center one here is my favorite. So if I only can plant one, it'll be that one. I love ladybugs. They're awesome. Okay. Ooh, I might get to get my eggplant today. Yeah. There's a pretty eggplant cropping up. There's a not so pretty eggplant over there, a white comet. I don't know what those spots are. I think they might be from the flea mites. We'll see. But the marigolds I retransplanted are doing really well here. My parsley. This is my most profitable plot. Ooh, time to get some more, harvest some more okra. I love this okra. I didn't think I would ever say that about okra, but I love this okra. This has been a great, well, I say that, and now this is looking all mangled, so maybe I should harvest that. But I got a lovely golden zucchini off of it yesterday. The celery is looking just magnificent. This has been kind of a failed plot. Nothing I planted in the second round has sprouted. That cabbage or lettuce is going to seed. I don't know if I really want to let it. It wasn't the most delicious lettuce. So I may just till this entire plot up and go ahead and start my winter greens. And maybe that'll help the cilantro that was up there and stuff start to sprout. But down here, yeah, I see another squash that's on its last legs. Probably not going to do anything else. Might as well take that out and start some carrots. So that's what we're going to do. But this tomato, which needs some black spot treatment, I saw some little baby tomatoes on it. So I'm going to start getting a second crop. But again, the blight, there's some blossoms. The blight. So I turned my avocado tree thinking that would help it like stand up straight, but no, it just made it lean even worse. It looks like that's the crown. I'm not sure if I really want to take off some more of the top and let it get bigger. I don't know what to do here. I mean, I'm kind of afraid to crop it down lower for fear that I'll stunt its growth, but it seems a little bit top heavy. That may be the only solution for this. Again, my honeydew melon's just growing in a vine and blossoming, but oh well, there's a baby fruit. I don't know. Maybe I'll examine them a little closer. At least they don't seem to have too many pest problems. A little bit of blight on the side maybe, but not bugs, so we'll see. Oh, and look at that. You really can't kill a mimosa. That's a branch that I just stuck in the ground, left one tiny little green leaf bud on it, hardly minuscule, and now it's probably taken root. Anyway, that is the vegetable portion of the garden. I am saddened because it looks like some sort of blight rot thing has claimed my impatiens, many of my impatiens, not all of them. But this was my red and white hybrids. The hybrids seem to be particularly vulnerable. There we go. I have a lot of columbines. Can you see the columbines? Which also went into the mix that's going to go next to Joe. We already talked about echinacea. Oh, I want to weed so badly. I don't remember what these are. I'm giving them a chance because they're growing really nicely in the shade. Again, I've got lots of columbines. My nasturtiums, we're definitely going to do many more nasturtiums next year. But I have this philosophy of impatiens. See, here's my salmon and my cherry splash. And even the ones that I grafted that were looking good, if they sat outside, then they're no longer looking good. So the rule of thumb from now on is remove all impatiens transplants inside by my birthday so that we can set them back out after the main heat has passed. The other rule is anything that survives this heat, I took some cuttings off of all of these that are blossoming right now. anything that survives the heat gets to be a foundation plant next year. Up there, I trimmed all of the purple and white varietals. Luckily, that was one of the spontaneous mutants that seemed to actually survive. I won't say thrive, but survive. It seems to be these deeper, darker colors are really doing the best, as well as that kind of pale lavender. So, but all of the hybrids, all the stripes, not doing so hot. All right. Also, my hydrangeas, again, these are perennials, so I'm kind of stuck with them unless I want to do some serious work, but I'm very displeased by their black spot sensitivity. My darling little Fatsy, on the other hand, are just magnificent. I may need to actually prune them back, at least this one, just so we don't block the window boxes next year, or maybe the year after. We'll see. The muscadine, not going to give me any grapes, looking kind of peaked, sorry. I'm going to have to look up diseases. Hello, Bumblebee. Look up diseases of muscadines and treat them, because whatever that gall is probably what stunted them. We should come back around, but you see this power line? Well, it goes across the neck of the cul-de-sac, and we can't really see it from here. But there's the most beautiful muscadine grapevine that's growing all the way across the neck, and it's got these big clusters of, like, I don't know, eyeball-sized muscadines, but it's on a power line, and I don't want to be that police blotter, woman electrocuted trying to make muscadine wine. I mean, that's just so Georgia. Okay. So we're, again, looking at the poor blight. Some of them doing better than others. These were not my very favorite colors. Those were all the cherry splash, which I'll probably still buy some seeds. So again, the rule applies here. If you can survive the summer without too much intervention by me, you get to live. My ferns. Look at my ferns. I'm so proud of my ferns. I've only lost 2 out of all of them that I planted. And even that one may come back, because I see a hint of green back there. So, 1.5. So the side yards are the projects of the winter. All right, let's go back and talk bees now. It's a very Three Little Bears kind of situation. One's got a lot of small hive beetles. One's just never really taken off. And one's doing okay. So I requeened Galadriel. Posted that. Oh, yeah, even in it doesn't seem to matter if they were planted in the ground, if they had extra fertilizer. That is actually a red and white hybrid, so it's one of the hardier hybrids, where the climate back here is better. I mean, the fern is looking great. Look at my fern. But, I mean, my moss is looking good, but all the impatiens are gone. I am just thrilled by this little tableau. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful mushrooms next to the fern? I mean, I love that woodland little paradise thing. We had some more tree limbs come down from the pines, which will be good for my smoker. One of our next projects is going to be, of course, to refurbish the coop and run. I want to put up some posts for roosts. These are much more mobile chickens that I have right now. So I want to kind of encourage them to stay three-dimensional, because maybe if another raccoon gets in there, they can fly up, get in a roost that the raccoon can't reach. Or at least, play chicken with them till I can get out here and beat the raccoon off. Doesn't seem like anything's living in there. Anyway, here's what we got. We've got Galadriel doing her Galadriel-y things. She's in 3 boxes. The goals for today's inspection are to establish that she has some fresh eggs, because I requeened her exactly a week ago. It's a cool little bee dance going on. I don't know if you can see it. Maybe if we zoom in. Anyway, I expect her to be pretty okay, except maybe a high Barrow count. She was as high as 100 and something, which was what prompted me to requeen her. Last count was 40 so, but it was without a sugar shake. I had stirred them up, I had gone in, but I didn't do the sugar shake. I'm most worried about Lilith, because she's still avoiding that far corner, which is where all the small hive beetle damage was. So I'm definitely going to put in a small hive beetle trap. She was also requeened. We're going to look for signs of egg, and everybody's getting a sugar shake. Luthien, I found the queen in. She had brood. We're just going to give her her check, make sure she's in 2 boxes without a feeder right now. We're going to look and see if she needs any more food. But chances are we're just going to put feed on Galadriel and Lilith, the ones with the 2 new queens, to kind of simulate a nectar flow to make sure that the queens start laying well. But we're just going to, do some basic maintenance to Luthien and see how she does. So these are kind of, experimental and positive control, negative control, just control. Untreated. There we go. Alright, this is going to be a long video. Got 13 minutes to talk about chickens. So, it's been a while since we went and saw the chickens. They are at, I should have looked before I came and did the video. I think, let's see, they should be right at 4 or 5 weeks, yeah. Because we're August 20th, they came July 17th. So yeah, 4 weeks. They're getting pretty big. Technically speaking, they could go out next week, but they probably won't go out for a couple of weeks because I have stuff to do to the coop. But they're doing well. Still have the 5s. They still don't have names. Hello, chickens. Say hello to the camera. Oh, the grow light burned out at week 2, but we're in the heat, so I haven't really bothered putting it back on. They seem fine. And in fact, this is probably the time of year when a chicken would want to be in my basement. So I'll probably wait till the heat breaks a little bit before I introduce them outside though. We've started preparations for the fall garden. These are an assortment of, cabbages. Well, take my word for it. We're just going to, it's better if you back up. These are an assortment of cabbages and Brussels sprouts, and what else did I put in here? Broccoli, and all those kind of crops that taste better when they've got a good frost on them, but aren't really going to germinate outside right now. So, and these are the cuttings of the hardy impatiens that I took yesterday. So we're going to keep them in here also until the heat breaks, probably a month from now, like late September. These are the ones that are still hanging on from whatever that rot is. A couple of them are the hybrids, so if they can survive and grow out some leaves, we'll tend to them. I've had stranger things happen, but a couple of them are surviving, but I think they're going to be those hardier lavender and dark purple stalks anyway. Some of them have just given up the ghost. I can refurbish that dirt by providing some more compost, and we just won't use it to grow impatiens again. Put it back in the compost. So that's it for Chez Moi. Lots of doings, lots of cool stuff going on. The next upload will probably be those hive inspections. See you then.